Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some very intriguing news coming over here with the mass expansion for both the PlayStation and Xbox into China itself, and how the Chinese takeover actually might just be kind of somewhat slowly going as of right this second. And as well, we also have some pretty crazy news too, and brand new games coming out for the PlayStation Plus, and also kind of do a little bit more of a recap too on all the crazy 2022 news in terms of sales, game sales, and how this kind of impacts the future of expansion of these consoles too as well. So very much a little bit of an intriguing article to go make nonetheless. So make sure you guys are subscribed, let the notifications on for all the gaming news, restock news, console news, and all of that. Twitter and Twitch stream down below if you guys want to go follow. We also do have the Target and Amazon links too as well, so check those on in case you guys want to get your consoles with a drop. I'm coming pretty soon. And let's dive into the fact that China is once again still slowly trying to take over the world, and some other gaming news too as well. So very first, kind of nifty stuff. We have a brand new article and brand new news coming out over here where China's looking to import now up to 45 different foreign video games, and is also granting now multiple licenses to Tencent. Now, if you guys don't know Tencent is one of the biggest gaming holding companies, basically like investment companies for lack of better terms, where they have billions of dollars. Like they'll go and say buy a game like Epic Games for the company, and they'll go and drop like we're going to buy 30%. League of Legends, Riot Games, Valorant, etc. They own a very large majority of it. And also like a lot of small smidgens of like 5 to 15% of other huge mega gaming corporations, which basically means they are printing money from revenues and shareholder meetings and basically just overall a huge company, and it's probably one of the biggest game companies in the entire world. Now, this is like a top 5 without a doubt, just letting you guys all know. And it's crazy too because it seems like their licensing rights and everything else might go and expand up these consoles and games, everything, way more into China. Now, really kind of quick footnote. When it comes to China actually has a very large amount of restrictions when it comes to regulations, when it comes to what games they're allowing inside their country. They block a lot of American games, and they have a very strict approval process of what games people can basically buy and what games they're allowed to sell. And if they also have like some sort of things like, such as inappropriate content that they don't want or blood or whatever, they will usually go and mass censor these games. So people in China actually get different games than what we're expecting, and as well, they also have to pay more money, they also have a lot less game options, and that's why a lot of these places like to focus on PlayStations or Xboxes from, say, like Japan, America, Canada, etc., and they'll pay a premium for them. But now this actually might be changing everything else, because we know that basically for the Chinese market and Asian markets, Sony, Xbox, etc., all want to go and push into them because they have billions of people living there, and they want to obviously make some money. So as you guys can see, China is looking to import 45 brand new games now. So China's video game regulator granted on Wednesday publishing licenses to 45 foreign games for release in the country, further lifting rigid curbs that have hammered the industry for 18 months. As well, because basically like the entirety of this next-gen generation have just not been able to really sell a lot of games. Among the imported online games approved by the National Press and Publication Administration are 5 to be published by Tencent Holdings, such as Pokemon Unite, by Nintendo, and Valorant, funny enough, by Riot Games. And as obviously Valorant is a very big holding of Tencent, so it makes sense they want to push for that to get approved, to make money, to sell microtransactions, etc. The regulator also approved 84 domestic games for the month of December, according to a separate list released on a Wednesday. The approval of imported games effectively marks the end of Beijing's crackdown on the video games industry, which began last August when regulators suspended the game approval process. So as I've mentioned, it's been really hard for games to get pushed into China. And it kind of makes sense too, because they try to go on a big lockdown everywhere. So a lot of these next-gen titles, like I said, had to be imported and somewhat smuggled on in for them to, well, basically they're gonna be played. And that's why like sometimes there's like basically China seeking out stock and seeking out like video games from other regions as of recently. So unlike in most countries, video games need approval from regulators before release in China, the world's largest gaming market. But it also kind of ties into why they want to push into, say, mobile games, because mobile games are typically either a lot easier to approve, or because they keep on doing new updates like live service games, think like Destiny, etc. Then basically just go get the original game improved, and then you go and start like just updating it, trying to sell different things, and going from there, which is very intriguing to see nonetheless. So it's kind of crazy. Like, I think there's going to have a huge Chinese expansion pretty soon. So Beijing's year-long crackdown on the industry has dealt a significant blow to Chinese tech companies, including Tencent and NetEase, which derive substantial revenue from publishing both self-developed and imported games. So a good example is, like I said, that China basically wants like different restrictions and different rules, so Tencent would be able to go and have their own game that they partially own. So say they buy 10% of, let's say, Sony for whatever example, and then they can go and import Sony games, and then it's kind of a double whammy. They'll make money on the actual act of importing, like doing the act of like, doing the languages or trying to censor the games, and also get the approval process, which Sony probably doesn't want to deal with. And then as well, they also own Sony stock, they own the company, so it's also benefiting them themselves. So basically through various affiliate companies, Tencent, the world's largest gaming company, has effectively received a total of 6 licenses in December, a source with knowledge with the matter told Reuters. And it kind of goes to show that these games, console, Xbox, PC, are going to be probably being massively grown in China as of now, especially with the process being more chill. So, Tencent only received its first commercial game license in over a year and a half last month, and that's crazy because this is a multi-billion-dollar, one of the biggest companies in the world. It's nuts, and I think it's also Chinese-based. So other imported games also improved were also Gwent, the Witcher card game, and Clay Entertainment's Don't Starve. Besides Tencent, NetEase, ByteDance, XD Inc., and iDream Sky have also received game approvals in December, so it kind of seems like they're kind of pushing this up again and letting a lot more games go on through. There's also a lot less granted licenses as well from previous years, so basically China approved 76 imported games in 2021 and 456 in 2017. In the year-ending meeting this month, Pony Ma, the founder of Tencent, said that the company has to get used to Beijing's strict licensing regime, and the number of new games China would approve would remain limited in the long run. But at least there is like a big difference between 18 months of no new games versus them actually being released and actually being in the process as of now. So kind of a big new change up over here when it comes to China. Now, some other big things to note too is if you guys missed this, the PlayStation Plus games for January 2023 has now been officially announced. We saw the leak and did cover the leak a few days ago. This is from the official proper PlayStation blog, as you guys can see over here on the official PlayStation sources from earlier on today. So the big January games over here for your PlayStation Plus. Star Wars Jedi The Fallen Order, which also is their PS5 version, and as well, I'm sure you guys have seen the news with their brand new game coming out that had millions of views on the trailer that was announced at the Game of the Year Awards. That game was a pretty good game. I still have never fully beaten it myself, but kind of imagine a Dark Souls somewhat type style Star Wars game where it's like a lot more hand-to-hand combat, a lot more lightsaber combat, etc., which I still think is a good mix and what people should be doing for Star Wars games and making it more like advanced. Like imagine a proper good PlayStation 5, like imagine like a Last of Us or God of War quality Jedi game with like really good, strong feelings on the lightsaber. You're going through, you're using the Force. That's kind of what this game is, although not to the same level as a Sony standard, but it's still a good game nonetheless, although a little bit dated. So definitely worth the download. Fallout 76, I'll be honest, I only ever played the beta because I knew it wasn't going to be my type of game, but apparently all their updates have been very nice. They've had a lot more DLCs, things added, gameplay added, all that type of stuff with it, which I think is great. Like, I really do like the idea of Fallout 76. Just doing awesome. Like, they had a really good game. Like, I don't play it myself, but I've heard very good things. So probably also worth the download, especially for free, and I've heard nothing but good things on Axiom Verge 2. Funny if I've not really played all 3 of these, and if I just was more of a casual gamer and just haven't picked up a game in a while, I'd probably go and want to download literally all 3. So these are all going to be available as of January 3rd. We still have a few more days. They usually do the announcements a little bit earlier on, but I do want to say that these are all pretty good, solid games that we could highly go and recommend. So very nice to see. Also a reminder too, make sure you guys go get the download over here for the Divine Knockout game, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and Biomutant 2 as well. You have a few more days to get that if you guys are a PS4, PS5, PlayStation Plus member. And last but not least, we did go and cover this up a decent bit. This kind of goes and ties into, well, why it's such a weird issue on China, because they're potentially missing out on billions of dollars from their sales, which is probably one of the saddest things to go and note. And as you guys can see, they had 184 billion total dollars, and there still are new people in China making games and selling games, buying games, etc., or from prior release games, obviously. But the same thing is that they're missing out on billions upon billions of dollars, and especially on the expansion, say, for PlayStation or Xbox, that could go and maybe do a little bit more of a deeper dive and, well, give them more options to go and get more games. So I would love to hear your thoughts on this huge China push. We've been seeing a lot more news news on mobile and China / Indonesia, India, Japan, Korea type markets from these big console makers and PC, and they think that's going to be the next big expansion growth. So let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Would love to go and hear it. As well as make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for all of our upcoming future giveaways. We have the also Twitter and Twitch room down below in case you guys would like to follow. We have the Target links down below. They have the Amazon links too as well with their upcoming drops, so sign up for those. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching here in the first place.